Hey there, tax enthusiasts, spreadsheet warriors, and affiliate marketers who didn't realize they might owe sales tax in 15 states. Welcome back to Tax Fun with Taxiam. I'm your host, Amanda, the one asking the questions, while Ronald sits in wise silence calculating Nexus thresholds in his head. Today's episode is a deep dive into affiliate Nexus and click-through Nexus, what they are, when they apply, and what can go oh so wrong if you ignore them. So let's start at the top. How are you doing today, Ronald?
Hanging in there. And I'm glad you asked, because I feel like we used to do some highs and lows in previous episodes. So this is a good way to get back into that. So I'll take your first question as, my high of the week, which is having had some time to go to the barber and get a haircut. I was looking pretty wild and crazy for a few days. So it was good to get that addressed. And then, lows of the week out in Texas, it is very hot, but it's only like 80 degrees. And it feels so hot. It's like, it's going to be 100 within a couple months. And why? Just why?
I don't know what that's like.
I know. It must be nice. What are your highs and lows of the week?
I think my highs and lows of the week are the same thing. I'm dog sitting for my mom right now. So that means an extra dog in the house, which is great because it's an extra dog in the house, but also stressful because there's an extra dog in the house. Yeah. So if you see the critters running behind me, now you know why.
Well, no problem. It's about to be party time there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got for us this week?
Well, so we're going to do a deeper dive into affiliate and click-through Nexus. We've talked about Nexus in previous episodes. These ones need special attention as they're ones that are, I would say, less heard of than marketplace or economic or physical. So just to hop right in, what is affiliate Nexus?
Ooh, yeah, I'm going to share my screen for the folks looking on YouTube here. So affiliate Nexus, click-through Nexus, very similar. They're both ways to establish a taxable presence in a state, even if you're not operating there directly, but through third parties. On the affiliate case, through the affiliate side, how you establish it there. Click-through, very similar, but that's established on the digital or referral side. But either way, it's the same. It's that, in general, it's the same in that it's a way for a business to establish a taxable presence in the state, even if you aren't doing direct sales, like you have a direct physical presence.
That's good to know. When do they apply?
Ooh, yeah, good question. And the short answer when it comes to any question sales tax is it depends. So this is going to vary for businesses by state. And that's the tough part of all this. Businesses are expected to know the various click-through and affiliate Nexus rules for each state ahead of time before they join these programs and then act accordingly, ideally registering, as they're doing it or whatever the right cadence is based on that state. But, that's the tough part. It's a lot to keep track of. The short answer is it depends. Long answer is, like we've talked about, we've never seen a case where all 50 of the states agree on anything. So there's so much variance state by state that we'll have some resources we'll put on the blog. But yeah, a lot to deal with.
So with that, because I feel like we've alluded to it a little bit, what are some of the pitfalls of affiliate and click-through Nexus?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again. We'll talk through an example here. I should use your name instead. But we'll use Ellie's Skincare. So like a lot of brands and companies, they use different kinds of marketing channels, paid ads, this and that. A popular one is now using influencers or affiliate marketing programs. In this case, Ellie's business is using some social media influencers to get them some visibility. So in addition to that, they launch a program where these creators can now also get a percentage of each sale to further incentivize them. That becomes their affiliate. So what that does, though, is that triggers Nexus based on where the affiliate lives. And that threshold varies per state. So in some states, it might be that one sale triggers that affiliate Nexus. So as soon as Ellie gets that first influencer posting about stuff and makes that sale, boom. In other states, it's a separate threshold than the economic threshold, Nexus threshold. So it might be $100,000 in total sales for economic Nexus, but for affiliate Nexus, it could be $10,000. So a ton to keep track of. But that's one of the big pitfalls is, you just can't go doing stuff in different ways in states. There's likely some kind of sales tax implication. In this case, based on the state, again, there could have been some registration requirements. Yeah, the biggest pitfall is not understanding when it applies and then finding out after you've already triggered the nexus and then having to decide, what do we do after the fact? Do we clean it up? Do we just act like we didn't know? Do we pay the fines? Do we tell the state? But yeah, that's a huge, great question. A huge pitfall. Huge pitfall.
Well, as we know, because we've said it many times in this podcast before, not knowing is not an excuse.
Mm,
So
sure.
even if they act like they don't know, it doesn't matter.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. And probably no surprise to you, it works very similar on the click-through Nexus side. The affiliates are based on the location of the affiliate themselves. On the click-through side, that's focused more on the digital referrals, those links we put on places, the links that we exchange with various companies so they can cross-promote brands and this and that. So we'll use a similar example here. Let's say one of those influencers included a tracked link on their blog to promote Ellie's company, and then somebody purchases through that link. That click could create that taxable connection if the influencer is based in a state that enforces click-through Nexus rules. So much to unpack there, makes my head spin. But in short, based on where that person was and based on the state's rules, that one sale from having that one link on one blog post or Instagram post could have triggered Nexus for a specific date. Then if a company misses it, all the future sales they're making are basically out of compliance. It causes a whole, nightmare of other issues if they didn't start by doing this right. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Make your head hurt yet?
A little bit, but I have a follow-up question for you.
Yeah,
Um, does someone need a formal agreement for it to count as affiliate nexus, or could like a casual link with a kickback trigger that too?
for sure. Depends on the state, but yeah, they may or may not. And that's the tough part, is that even if they don't have so many things in place, just doing the activity in the state's eyes may constitute some of these things. So, ultra, always better to go above and beyond, though, than it is to like beg for forgiveness and say I didn't know after the fact. That's not an excuse. But yeah, if you're not sure about any of these are great questions. And if people aren't sure what questions they should be asking or how to ask the right questions or find the answers, definitely come talk to folks like us or other external experts who can guide you and make sure that you're staying compliant along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Would you happen to know what the most aggressive states are when it comes to affiliate and click-through Nexus rules?
Ooh, great question. This is one of the few times I feel like I don't have an answer ready for you. So yeah, in this most recent game of Stump the Chump, I am the
Ugh,
chump. So
I feel like
congrats.
I should.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I feel like Washington's always, one of the less lenient states. Maybe California. Those are my two guesses. What are they?
No, that was a question solely for you. I'm not sure.
Oh, oh, what? You didn't even have the answer to it?
I don't
Gee,
have the answer to it. I'm
I
not all
don't
knowing.
know. Okay,
My
well,
job is to ask the questions.
that's fair. It is a good question, and we get asked that kind of stuff a lot from businesses, CFOs, accounting leaders, and to some degree, and I can never say this directly to them on the calls we're having, but I can say it now because, I'm not talking to them directly. But basically, the question doesn't matter, right? Because are you really going to go in? I mean, to some degree, you got to be able to understand things on a per state level, but trying to understand the granularity as a function of cost savings, it's not worth it, right? Are people going to really track the different laws in Washington so granularly they're going to do this tax thing slightly differently? They do it somewhere else. No, you're going to operationalize everything. So you're going to uniformly assess tax, remit tax within whatever process you have, and then go from there. So, I mean, I hear you on some states, I look at things differently, but there's a fine line between getting things done, properly and trying to skirt the line a little too much for a little bit of time or cost savings for an individual when it may not benefit the business itself.
Right. I
Ooh,
feel
so,
like you came back around and you answered the question exactly as I intended for you to answer it. So thanks for
oh,
coming into my web there.
yeah, I felt like I was on a rant there for a second. So, yeah, therapy session.
So, if they do realize that they've triggered Nexus, what should a business do next? Do they register right away, or start collecting sales tax? Do they backdate it, or panic quietly in a corner?
Buy some plane tickets, run. No, just kidding. FBI, if you're listening, that was a joke. Um, what they should do is basically nothing for a beat, right? Take a quick second, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody who knows. Even after working at Avalara for years, we would recommend voluntary disclosures, this and that. And I never took offense when customers say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go talk to my own tax lawyer about this, talk to my own internal person. Not that I don't agree or see the need. I just need to take a beat to, verify some things. Same thing here, right? Action needs to be taken, whether it's them paying an outside consultant like us or Avalara, using software, whatever, before any action is taken, take a beat to get things assessed, form a plan of action, then go execute it. So, like, to answer your question, they're going to go look at, okay, great. What's the risk here? Is this we're going to go pay $10,000 in penalty and fines because we didn't do things right for 2 years? Or is it that, hey, we just missed a month or two, we're just going to eat the cost, do 1 or 2 back filings, and then we're good? But either way, they're going to take a beat, assess, and then decide.
Good. And do you think that businesses should be auditing their affiliate and click-through data monthly, quarterly, or what do you think of realistic cadences?
That's tough. That's a great question. We kind of touched on this earlier. There's a fine line between operationalizing stuff and following the state's guidelines, because that's what they are. That to some degree they are guidelines on how you should be doing stuff, but with how much different kinds of business is being done, the states aren't telling you in exact specific terms everything. Do this invoicing this exact way. Put this line item first. Check your affiliate Nexus once every 3 days when we update the website or something. So businesses have kind of self-determined what these cadences look like. So for me on my side, as we're looking at their filings, we're looking at some of the Nexus stuff, and so I would include it with that activity. So as I'm checking monthly on certain things, I'm going to go through and ask some folks, hey, let's talk about these things. Have you added new products, new services, new salespeople, any new affiliate relationships? But it definitely should be on some kind of regular cadence. As to what that looks like. It's going to vary, per business, how big that program is. And at some point, they're going to have Nexus in all 50 states or all the states. And it's not going to matter to some degree. But yeah, up until you're registered in every state you can be, you should definitely be checking along the way to see if there's other ways that you could establish Nexus you aren't aware of.
Absolutely. And is there a software that helps manage all of that, or are we still in spreadsheet territory for most businesses?
For the affiliate stuff and click-through stuff, yeah, sadly, we're in spreadsheet territory. And it's more, yeah, it's just a very manual exercise, because it's not only that you have to track the programs that you're managing this through, there's various referral software companies that you can use to manage affiliate programs. But that's them just kind of corralling all the links that you exchange with affiliates, but it doesn't always tell you where the affiliate is. So then the company on the other side, the accounting person has to go and, I don't know how they would, depending on the software company, go contact their rep and say, hey, this and that, I've got some Nexus concerns. Can you give me a report of where these affiliates are located? If they're lucky, that'll be easy to get. And if they're not lucky, maybe they have to go onto Instagram and go do some stalking to see where, Amanda's blog is posted from, if it's in Washington or California, and then track it that way. But yeah, spreadsheets, a lot of manual information, but they're tracking the dollars. And so just make sure that as you're tracking the dollars, you have a matching understanding of what state those dollars are being attributed to, affiliate Nexus wise. So, I'm going to pull this up. I think it's Pennsylvania. Just a second. Here we go. Some states, it's as low as $10,000 in click-through Nexus sales, and Pennsylvania has no minimum at all. So even one affiliate-based sale in Pennsylvania, triggers Nexus there, right? So your very first sale of $1 through a click-through affiliate relationship triggers Nexus. So, yeah, ton to unpack, but folks are here to help.
Well, there you go. Okay, I have a bonus for you.
Yeah.
International affiliates. If someone in Canada drives traffic from customers in the US, let's say Ohio, and I reward them, do I now have Nexus in Ohio because of that referrer?
So the company is Canadian and the referrers in Ohio? Or do I have
Yes.
it backwards?
If a Canadian business
Okay.
drives traffic from customers in the US and I
Okay.
reward them, do I now have a Nexus in Ohio because of that referrer as a Canadian business?
So you're the Canadian business and the referrer is in Ohio?
Yes.
Okay. That one I don't specifically know off the top of my head on the Ohio side, but I'm sure they have some threshold. Do you know what it is?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it would depend on the threshold, but whatever it is, like if it was Pennsylvania, then it would be the very first sale would
Right.
trigger Nexus. Yeah, Ohio's whatever it is, it could be $10,000, it could be 100, but yeah, it's definitely something that business should consider because at some point, if they haven't hit Nexus in Ohio some other way, this could be a way they establish it.
Right. But the affiliate Nexus and the click-through Nexus work internationally as well, correct? For Canadian businesses that are selling into the US or working with influencers in the US, it'll work the same.
Right. It doesn't matter where the business is headquartered. If you're playing in somebody's playground, you abide by their rules.
There you go.
So if HQ is in Tennessee or in Canada or somewhere else, they all have the same Nexus rules.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that we want to add?
Nope, I don't think so. Somehow we made it through.
I know. I feel like we packed this episode so tight that we went very quickly.
I know, we're 17 minutes ago.
I know. We've covered definitions, applications, all the places affiliate marketing can quietly become a tax headache,
Well,
which brings us to the best part of the episode, the dad joke.
yeah, let's do this.
Right. Why did the affiliate marketer get audited?
Because he clicked the wrong side of the road.
Oh, you were so close
Dang
because
it.
they had too many links to shady behavior.
Oh, dang it. That's good. That is good. And speaking of links, I mean, we can't say this enough on the affiliate side, but yeah, these things are so easy to trigger because so many businesses have a digital presence in some form or fashion. Even if they have a brick and mortar, it's not that they're not doing any kind of online advertising or emailing, right? And so much of emailing is done by third parties in various ways. So many links that get put up on so many of these different, like you said, blogs, Facebook and stuff. A lot to keep up with. So I'm glad you picked this topic today.
Well, thank you. And I mean, always, you guys feel free to come to us if you have any questions or seek out a tax attorney or a CPA, or we are happy to help however we can. Um, and you can find the podcast anywhere where you can find podcasts and on YouTube and the Taxium website. So lots of information that we're going to share with you for as long as we possibly can. There's no shortage of tax topics to talk about.
Well, thanks.
Okay, so that's all for today's episode of Tax Fun with Taxium. If your brain is now spinning about whether your influencer campaign just triggered Nexus in New Jersey, that's good. That means you're paying attention. Take a breath, check your affiliate strategy, and maybe give Ronald a call before the auditors do. Until next time, keep your records clean, your thresholds tracked, and your affiliate links under control.
Bye.